What if the secret to faster recovery isn't a pill or a lab-made formula at all, but a bowl of food served at a family table 2,000 years ago? Discover 10 divine dishes that can support rapid healing for some people. Ancient meals that Scripture records and modern research begins to explain. Before we begin, a quick note. This video is for information and inspiration, not medical advice. If you have a health condition, consult your healthcare provider. With that, let's go. The Bible is full of food moments that matter, not just stories of survival, but practical diets shaped by climate, soil, and community needs. From the traveler's staples listed in Numbers to the land of wheat and barley in Deuteronomy, those meals were designed to keep people fit for hard lives. Today we can read those texts, then look at modern studies on nutrients, microbes, and synergies, and see how these simple combinations may promote faster recovery from everyday problems. Digestion upset, inflammation, fluid imbalance, low iron, and more. I've organized 10 dishes from the biblical world into an easy countdown. Each entry will include the scriptural anchor, the likely nutritional explanation, a quick how-to, and a practical tip you can try this week. 10. Cucumber mint yogurt bowl. Numbers 11. Scriptural anchor. First, in Numbers 11 we find the people remembering cucumbers and other fresh foods by name, a reminder that fresh produce was vital in Israelite diets. Nutritionally, this simple bowl combines cooling, hydrating cucumber with probiotic fermented milk and soothing mint. Cucumbers are mostly water and provide silica and electrolytes that help rehydrate and support connective tissues. Fermented goat or sheep yogurt brings live cultures and lactic acid bacteria that can help rebalance the gut after a bout of diarrhea or antibiotic use. Research suggests probiotics can shorten episodes of infectious diarrhea and support gut recovery, though effects vary by strain. Mint contains menthol and other compounds that can ease spasms and calm the stomach lining, often offering fairly rapid relief from indigestion. Practical assembly. Peel and slice a firm cucumber into thin ribbons or rounds, salt lightly, and fold into a bowl of chilled fermented goat yogurt. Add a generous handful of chopped fresh mint, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, and a sprinkle of toasted sesame or nigella seeds for texture. If you need a touch of sweetness, a few pomegranate arils brighten the bowl. This is a refreshing breakfast or light supper that can cool a feverish mouth and settle the gut. Serving tip. Try it after a day of travel or when you notice bloating. The cooling, hydrating effect is immediate for many people. Would you try a bowl like this on a hot afternoon? 9. Garlic and herb lentil soup. Biblical pulses and staples. Lentils appear throughout the Old Testament as a staple for nourishment and portability. Lentils are rich in fiber and plant protein, with resistant starches that feed beneficial gut bacteria. Garlic contains a lichen and sulfur compounds associated with antimicrobial and immune-supporting effects in multiple studies. While it's not a cure-all, garlic may help shorten the duration of some infections and modulate immune response. Cumin, coriander, and a drizzle of olive oil introduce terpenes and phenolic compounds that assist digestion and create anti-inflammatory synergy. Practical assembly. Sauté minced garlic and onions gently in olive oil. Add cumin and coriander, then pour in rinsed brown or green lentils and enough broth to cover. Simmer with a bay leaf until the lentils are tender, mash slightly for a thicker texture, finish with lemon juice and a flourish of fresh parsley or cilantro. A spoonful of strained yogurt on top adds extra probiotics. Why it helps? The combination of fiber, plant protein, and garlic makes this a restorative bowl for convalescence. It's easy on the stomach, high in nutrients, and the warm broth comforts while providing steady energy. For those with iron concerns, combining lentils with a vitamin C-rich squeeze of lemon improves non-heme iron absorption. 8. Pomegranate and barley bowl. pomegranates, barley, olives. Pomegranates are a repeated image of abundance and healing. Deuteronomy and other texts celebrate them. Barley was the grain of common bread, providing slow-release carbohydrates and beta-glucan fiber, which research ties to improved cholesterol and immune modulation. Pomegranate seeds carry punicalagins and polyphenols that are potent antioxidants and may reduce oxidative stress. When paired with barley and extra virgin olive oil, the combination supports cardiovascular health and gut diversity. Practical assembly. Cook pearled or hulled barley until tender but chewy, cool slightly, then mix with pomegranate arils, chopped flat-leaf parsley, diced cucumber, a handful of chopped olives, and a generous drizzle of olive oil. Add toasted walnuts or pumpkin seeds for crunch, plus crumbled goat cheese or feta if you tolerate dairy. Why it helps? This bowl is both anti-inflammatory and remineralizing. In situations where inflammation or oxidative stress needs addressing, think after intense exercise, travel, or illness, the antioxidant punch of pomegranate with the soluble fiber of barley offers measurable support. The textures and tart sweet notes also make it satisfying, which helps people keep eating nutrient-dense food while recovering. 7. Dates stuffed with nuts, portable energy. Dates are everywhere in biblical narratives and were a staple of desert travel and quick sustenance. They are rich in natural sugars for immediate energy, plus potassium, magnesium, and boron. When paired with nuts, almonds, walnuts, pistachios, the fats and proteins slow glucose absorption and provide micronutrients like vitamin E and magnesium that support recovery. Practical assembly. Choose plump medjool dates, split them open, and stuff with a roasted almond or a sprinkle of crushed pistachio. For a more substantial treat, spread with a thin smear of tahini or ricotta before stuffing and roll in toasted sesame seeds. Why it helps? For someone coming out of a period of low appetite or weakness, a date with nuts is a gentle, nutrient-dense bite that can lift blood sugar and provide building blocks for healing. It's portable, shelf-stable, and often provides immediate perceptible energy, not miraculous, but practical. Would you reach for one mid-afternoon instead of a sugary snack? 6. Grapes and goat cheese plate with herbs. John 6 echoes and table hospitality. Grapes and wine spoils appear in many passages, and Jesus' feeding scenes center on loaves and fish, but also the bounty of the land. See John 6:1-14 for the feeding of the 5,000 as a broader reminder of communal provision. Grapes offer resveratrol and flavonoids concentrated in skin and seeds. While the blood pressure and endothelial effects of resveratrol are still under study, grapes contribute antioxidants and hydration. Soft fermented goat cheese supplies probiotics and tang, and herbs such as thyme and oregano bring essential oils with antimicrobial properties. Practical assembly. Arrange a platter of red and green grapes, torn pieces of fresh goat cheese, a scatter of chopped herbs, mint, thyme or oregano, drizzled with olive oil and a few crushed walnuts. Serve with thin slices of barley bread or whole grain crackers. Why it helps? The quick sugars in grapes provide instant energy. The cheese offers protein and fermentation-derived microbes that can support the gut. And the herbs' volatile compounds have traditionally been used for calming and as mild antimicrobials. This is an ideal post-illness nibble when heavy food feels too much, or a restorative snack after long work. 5. Roasted lamb with dates and herbs, sacrificial meats and nutrient density. Lamb and goat figure in many sacrificial and domestic contexts in Scripture, providing dense, bioavailable nutrients. Red meat like lamb is a rich source of hemi-iron, B12, zinc, and creatine, nutrients crucial for rebuilding tissues, restoring energy, and supporting immune function. Dates and figs used at table alongside meat offer soluble fibers and sugars that aid absorption and provide quick calories for recovery. Fresh herbs such as rosemary or thyme add aromatic compounds that can support digestion and have mild antimicrobial actions. Practical assembly. Marinate lamb pieces with crushed garlic, chopped rosemary, lemon zest, olive oil, salt and pepper. Roast until just done to retain tenderness, then toss with halved dates and a handful of toasted pine nuts. Serve with a side of barley or barley flatbread to soak up juices. Why it helps. For someone with iron deficiency fatigue or recovering from blood loss, lamb's heme iron is more readily absorbed than plant iron. Combining meat with vitamin C-rich citrus or with fruit like dates helps iron uptake. This is a hearty, restorative meal, not for daily overconsumption, but powerful when rebuilding strength. 4. Figs and almonds. Hezekiah's fig, 2 Kings 27, Isaiah 38:21. Two biblical passages link King Hezekiah's recovery to a fig poultice. In 2 Kings 27 and Isaiah 38:21, a cake of figs is applied to a boil, and healing follows. Historically, this points to topical and dietary uses of figs. Figs contain phycin, a proteolytic enzyme, and other compounds with antimicrobial and mild anti-inflammatory properties. Almonds contribute healthy monounsaturated fats, vitamin E and magnesium. Modern science notes that some fruit-derived enzymes can break down biofilms or irritants, and topical plant-based poultices may provide symptomatic relief by promoting drainage and cleanliness, though they are not replacements for medical care. Internally, eating figs provides fiber and prebiotic fructans that feed beneficial gut microbes, supporting immunity over time. Practical assembly. Enjoy fresh or dried figs with blanched almonds as a snack, or layer fig halves with almond butter and a drizzle of honey. If you're curious about the historical poultice, some traditional practitioners use mashed figs externally for localized skin issues, but consult a clinician before trying topical treatments for serious infections. Why it helps. Figs and almonds together make an energizing, fiber-rich snack that supports overall recovery, and the story of Hezekiah reminds us that people in Scripture used accessible plant medicine alongside prayer and community care. Remember, topical applications reported in the Bible reflect cultural practices, not prescriptive medical mandates. 3. Chickpea and olive salad. Ancient pulses meet Mediterranean fat. Chickpeas are ancient pulses consumed across the region for millennia. They deliver resistant starch, fiber, and plant-based protein that sustain blood sugar levels and feed the microbiome. Olives and extra virgin olive oil bring monounsaturated fats and polyphenols that research associates with reduced markers of inflammation and better cardiovascular outcomes. Herbs like dill, parsley and cumin support digestion and add volatile compounds that may reduce bloating. Practical assembly. Toss cooked chickpeas with chopped olives, diced cucumber, tomatoes, finely chopped parsley and mint. Dress with lemon juice, minced garlic, and a generous quality olive oil. For a heartier meal, add a spoon of tahini or crumbled feta. Why it helps? As a restorative meal, this salad provides steady energy, supports gut health via fiber and resistant starch, and delivers fats that help the body absorb fat-soluble vitamins. It's light but nourishing, ideal as a midday recovery plate or as a side for convalescents who need gentle, nutrient-dense meals. 2. Barley bread with olive oil, the daily bread as medicine. Barley appears repeatedly as common bread in the biblical world. Deuteronomy references the abundance of grains. Barley is rich in beta-glucan-soluble fiber, which research links to improved cholesterol and a supportive effect on immune responses. Olive oil, especially extra virgin, contains phenolic compounds like oleocanthal that have anti-inflammatory properties resembling low-dose ibuprofen in some lab studies, though it's important to emphasize the comparison is limited and not a prescription substitute. Practical assembly. Bake a simple flatbread using stone-ground whole barley flour, or a mix of barley and whole wheat for better texture. Brush warm pieces with quality olive oil, sprinkle with za'atar or dried thyme, and tear over a little feta or labneh. Eat warm with soups or salads. Why it helps? Warm bread with oil is soothing, caloric, and provides soluble fibers that support gut function. For those recovering from respiratory or systemic inflammation, the combination of complex carbs and anti-inflammatory fats may help reduce baseline inflammation and support steady recovery. 1. 7 Sacred Foods Feast Bowl, Deuteronomy 8:8 in practice. Climax. Deuteronomy 8:8 names 7 staples, a land of wheat and barley, vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive oil and honey. Read together, these foods form a remarkably balanced template. Grains provide carbohydrate and fiber. Barley contributes beta-glucan. Grains and pulses together can assemble complementary amino acids. Grapes and pomegranates supply antioxidants. Figs and dates offer prebiotic fibers and quick energy. Olives and olive oil deliver monounsaturated fats and phenolics. Honey supplies a concentrated bioactive sweetener with unique antimicrobial properties in some contexts. Synergy is the key idea here. Alone, each ingredient has benefits. Combined as a plate, they support digestion, reduce oxidative stress, supply minerals and vitamins, and create meals that are calorically dense enough to restore energy yet balanced to avoid blood sugar spikes. For example, the fat in olive oil helps absorb fat-soluble antioxidants and vitamin A-like compounds. Fiber slows glucose entry, stabilizing energy. Fermented dairy or cheeses added to the feast bring live cultures that support the gut. Practical assembly. Build a feast bowl by layering a base of barley or cracked wheat, adding strips of roasted lamb or grilled fish if you eat meat, scattering pomegranate seeds, sliced figs, a few dates, a handful of olives, and a drizzle of good olive oil. Add a small dollop of honey if you crave sweetness, and finish with lemon and fresh herbs. For a vegetarian version, load the bowl with roasted eggplant, sautéed greens, chickpeas, and toasted almonds. Why it helps? When you eat these foods together, you're not following a fad. You're eating a historically coherent dietary pattern that emphasizes whole foods, plant diversity, healthy fats, and minimal processing. This pattern is associated in modern research with lower chronic inflammation and better recovery metrics in many studies. In short, Deuteronomy's shopping list reads a lot like a functional, traditional blueprint for resilience. Putting it into practice, and a few clarifications, you may have noticed a theme. These dishes are not isolated magic bullets, but combinations that work together. Some elements can provide relatively quick symptomatic relief: mint for indigestion, hydrating cucumber after heat exposure, honey for a sore throat. And in a few historical cases, topical applications like the fig poultice appear to have provided rapid symptomatic benefit. That's why the title speaks of instant help. In some scenarios, certain foods may bring quick, perceptible relief, but they are not guaranteed cures and should never replace necessary medical treatments. If you want a short, printable recipe card for the top 3 dishes, the cucumber mint yogurt bowl, the garlic lentil soup, and the pomegranate barley bowl, like this video, and I'll pin a link to the recipe cards. A few practical pointers for modern kitchens. Use whole, minimally processed ingredients. Stone-ground barley, whole dates and whole olives retain the compounds that give these dishes their power. Combine textures and flavors. Each bowl should have a savory herb anchor, a bit of acid, lemon or vinegar, and a healthy fat to help absorb nutrients. Fermented foods are allies. Small amounts of yogurt, labneh, or fermented vegetables can speed gut recovery. Ease into it. If you're new to high-fiber bowls or pulses, introduce them gradually to let your microbiome adapt. Substitute thoughtfully. If you're gluten-free, use quinoa in place of barley for texture. If dairy-free, use coconut or almond-based yogurt cultures where suitable. On evidence and expectation, where the Bible records practice, we can learn about what people ate and why. Where modern science studies nutrients and patterns, we see mechanisms that plausibly explain outcomes. For instance, randomized trials show probiotics can shorten some diarrheal episodes. Epidemiological data links olive oil consumption with lower inflammation. Beta-glucan-rich barley influences cholesterol and glycemic responses. But science is complex, and outcomes depend on dose, individual health, existing microbiome, and context. That's why the language here is cautious. These foods may help, support, or be associated with improved outcomes. They are part of an integrated approach to health, not a guaranteed instant fix. Final encouragement and a gentle closing blessing. Try one of these dishes this week. Make the cucumber mint yogurt bowl as a cooling breakfast. Simmer a pot of garlic lentil soup on a rainy evening. Or build a 7 sacred foods bowl at your next family meal. Notice how you feel, and if something helps you, share that in the comments. Others may be encouraged by your experience. Remember, if you have a medical condition, consult your healthcare provider before making dietary changes intended to treat illness. May your table be a place of nourishment, and may these ancient combinations restore small things quickly. A settled stomach, steadier energy, a less inflamed afternoon. If one of these dishes speaks to you, try it and tell us which one in the comments. Subscribe for more explorations of biblical wisdom and practical health, and we'll continue this conversation, cooking with history and curiosity.